everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ballerina's Kitchen. I'm Alexandra Hoffman, company member with American Midwest Ballet Company. Today we are going to be making a pineapple upside down cake in honor of our upcoming performance of Momentum that will showcase Erika Overturff's Bee's Knees. To get started with our pineapple upside down cake, I'm first going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And then we are gonna start on making our caramel sauce. It's not gonna be a traditional caramel. Caramel usually has a little bit of vanilla and cream in it. This is just gonna be 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter and half a cup of dark brown sugar. I'm using dark brown sugar because it has a little bit more molasses in it, so it's gonna create a richer caramel sauce. This is going to go into a 10-inch cast iron skillet. If you do not have one of those, you can use any other oven-safe skillet. Just make sure you grease it really well or use a cake pan. I'm gonna turn this on to medium heat and start letting this dissolve. In the meantime, while our caramel is doing its thing, we are gonna start making our vanilla cake batter. So over here, I have my stand mixer. I'm gonna add half a cup of coconut oil that is at room temperature. And I'm also gonna add 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar and just cream that together like you would if you were starting with butter. When you bake, it's really important to measure your ingredients. So right now I'm making sure that I'm leveling off everything. That way we get the right texture in our cake. On my paddle attachment, making it, and we'll let that go for a couple minutes. All right, so over here, our caramel is working away. It's not quite there yet. It's kind of at the wet sand stage. So I'm just gonna give it another whisk and let it continue to melt. But in the meantime, I kind of wanted to talk about the pineapple. So when I first decided I was gonna make this recipe, I really wanted to use fresh pineapple, but after reading many blog posts on it, I heard that using fresh pineapple is actually too acidic and will actually break down your cake. So I highly suggest getting good old-fashioned canned pineapple, and then you're gonna drain the liquid, but you do wanna save it because we are gonna use a little bit of pineapple juice in our cake batter as well. Our caramel has melted down really nicely, so what you want to do is you just want to spread it on the bottom all over your cast iron skillet. And now I have placed my pineapple rings. Don't be alarmed when they sizzle, that is totally fine. Also resist the temptation to touch the caramel to taste it. It is really, really hot and you can easily burn yourself. So now we're going to add the classic maraschino cherry into the middle of each of our pineapple rings. Something that I like to do that I don't think is super traditional in this cake is to add some crushed pineapple on top. I just think this will ensure that every bite that you have in the cake will definitely get a piece of pineapple. So we're just gonna go ahead and start scooping this, and we'll spread it over the top and make sure you get it kind of in between the pineapple rings. Back to our cake batter. In this bowl, I have 1 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of fine salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then for our wet ingredients, I have half a cup of whole milk, and then we are gonna add just a 1/4 cup of our reserved pineapple juice. When you add an acid to regular milk, it almost makes it into a buttermilk. So that is why we are going to add this in. It's gonna make the cake nice and moist. And we're also gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Over in our bowl, we creamed together our coconut oil and our sugar, and now we are gonna add 1 room temperature egg, and this is gonna be our binder for the cake. So go ahead and plop that in, and we'll mix this until it's incorporated. This is our guest This is Boba. She's gonna be our official taste tester. So as you can see, our egg has beaten in quite nicely, and we want to make sure the mixture is nice and smooth and is a nice pale yellow color. And now everyone has their own opinion on how to mix their cake batter. I will tell you mine. Do with it what you want, but I'm gonna start by adding half of my dry mixture, letting that mix in, and then we will go in with all of the wet. So I'm just gonna put in about half of this. And then we'll mix it on low speed. We don't want to mix it for too long because we don't want a gummy cake. So just watch it, again, nice and slow. Once it looks like the flour has completely absorbed into our coconut oil mixture, go ahead and stop, and we'll add the wet mixture. So another difference to this cake that isn't super traditional is me using the coconut oil. Normally shortening is used, but I've gone 29 years of life without having to use shortening, and I didn't think now was the time. So we are experimenting with coconut oil today instead, but if you have shortening on hand, by all means go ahead and use it. All right, last add-in, we're gonna dump in the last half of our flour mixture, being really careful just to let it mix until you don't see any more flour, and then we get to pour it into our pan and bake it. For the best part, we get to top our pineapple mixture with our vanilla cake batter. And this is gonna go into our 350 degree preheated oven. It's probably gonna take between 25 and 35 minutes. I'll keep you updated on that. I'm gonna check on it probably after 15 minutes and make sure that the top doesn't brown too quickly. And if it does and the center's not done, I'm just gonna tint it with some tin foil, and that will take care of that problem. All right, so 25 to 35 minutes and we will have a delicious pineapple upside down cake. And Boba can't wait to eat it either.
Why don't you tell us what you are doing in Bee's Knees?
I will be in the opening number, which was featured in the Going Solo films. Super fun dance, super fast paced, so that's gonna be exciting. It's a good show opener for the Bee's Knees. I will also be doing I Ain't Got Nobody, which is kind of a comedic scene. It's really funny. I get to kind of pout around the stage while doing really hard dancing, but it's all about me being upset because I don't have a date, basically, which I think is hilarious. And then I also get to be in Suffrage, which is really fun because it's all the women in the company, and it's all about women fighting for the right to vote. And it's just been a really fun rehearsal process, getting to hang out with all of the ladies and feeling powerful. The cake took about 30 minutes to cook. It's lightly browned on top, which is super exciting. I let it cool for 15 minutes, and now for the fun part, we get to flip it out, which I might have Kogan help me with.
We're a little nervous, but we're going for it.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it. Okay, ready?
You got it.
Oh God. Okay, maybe we'll do some taps for good luck. And then we'll try to lift this off and pray that it came.
Oh my God,
Oh, it almost did. Okay.
Okay.
So, all you have to do if this happens is we're just going to take a little spatula and we're going to get this little lone pineapple and we're going to plop her right back on, and guess what? No one will ever know. All right, here's the finished product. I'm really happy it turned out because I've never made one before. This recipe actually became popular in the 1920s. I think that's when the first published recipe was printed. It was actually served not even as like a casual dessert at the end of dinner, but like for big grand dinner parties or if anyone important was coming into town. And then later on in the 40s, it became a little less popular, but people started doing it with other fruits like apricots or plums or figs. So there you have it, your pineapple upside down cake.
Hi everyone, my name is Kogan Murphy. I am a company artist with American Midwest Ballet. And now that we've had our dessert, I'm going to show you one of my favorite cocktails. So in the 1920s is when the 18th Amendment was made. It was the Prohibition era and most people ignored it. So today I'm gonna give you my spin on the Bee's Knees cocktail. and this is all the things that I'm gonna be using. So I decided to use this beautiful purple gin. It's one of my favorites, and it really is just a cool color. I also just have some lemonade, and you can make your own fresh squeezed, or you can just buy one from the store like I do. Some raw honey and 1 lemon, and then I do have some fresh thyme as well. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually rim this with sugar. One of my favorite pieces in Erika's Bee's Knees is sugar in my bowl, and it is a solo that was created on me, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to line the rim of my glass with some sugar. I'm gonna start off with just a lemon, and to get the most juice out of your lemon, you should always roll it. Just a fun little tip. All right, so I took a lemon and I kind of just coated the rim here with the lemon, and now I'm going to dip it in my sugar. Awesome. Lots of sugar. All right, so I'm gonna start off with my gin, and again, I'm using this Empress gin. I love the color and I love the taste. All right, so you can go ahead and you can do 1.5 ounces, or you can do 2. It's a Saturday, so I'm gonna give Alexandra and I 2. All right, so next up, I am just gonna squeeze some fresh lemon in there. I like my drinks a little sweeter. If you don't, skip this part. Next up, I am going to use some raw honey. Again, as sweet as you wanna make it. I'm just gonna do a teaspoon. That was a little more like a tablespoon, but that's okay. All right, so now that we've got the honey in there, I'm just gonna give it a little stir. So fun to watch the colors change with this one. And now I'm just gonna put a splash of lemonade in there. And now this is a cooking trick I just learned from Ballerina's Kitchen, Alexandra Hoffman. But if you take your fresh thyme and you stick it in the palm of your hand and you just clap it, it's gonna help bring out all those extra smells and tastes. And then I'm just gonna pop her in, give it another little stir, and you're all good. Cheers. Oh yeah.
Good. Let's try that again. Okay. Cheers. So we finally got to try everything, and everything is delicious. We just kind of wanted to talk about the cake one more time, and in the 20s, pineapple was like a hot commodity ingredient, kind of like when avocados became such a big thing not too long ago. Like pineapple was just really used in as many ways as they possibly could make up ways to use it. So yeah, there's that for our pineapple upside down cake. And then the bee's knees, we kind of wanted to talk about what that meant. And way back in the 18th century, it was actually used to talk about someone who was actually insignificant. But then in the 1920s, it started to become used again, but to talk about someone that was really outstanding, or to talk about something else that was highly admired. So we hope you like the bee's knees, and we hope you think it's just as amazing as we think it is. So enjoy.
Thanks for joining for Ballerina's Kitchen and Kogan's Cocktails.
Woot woot.